men slept, an enemy came to sow a seed among the wheat and went his way. When men slept, there is always an enemy. Because when you don't pray, there is always an enemy to sow sickness, to sow affliction, to sow disease among the good heads God have given you. There are always an evil people to sow the things God have not sowed into your life when you refuse to pray. He said, when men slept, an enemy came to sow a seed among the wheat. This Bible passage is not just talking about a physical sleep. It's not talking about a physical sleep. It's not that when you slept off. No, Bible is not talking about that. You can stay awake and the enemy will still sow the wrong seed. You can stay awake. The enemy will still come and sow the wrong thing in your life. The enemy can still sow a wrong thing in your life. It said when men slept, an enemy came to sow a seed, which means anytime you refuse to pray, anytime you neglect prayer, there is always a deposit that the enemy deposited in your life that you are not even aware of, because you are asleep. Because in your spiritual life you are asleep. This year just began, the year 2023. There are many people that they will forget they are safe. That is why when the year is going, you see people experiencing a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, a lot of difficulty, because the way they handle their prayer altar, because the way they handle their foundation, because the first talks of beginning. That is why the Bible said in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1, it said, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. This is the beginning of the year. This is the time for us to arrest every power, every wrong seed that the enemy will sow in our life. This is not a time to sleep off. This is not a time to sleep off in our spiritual life. This is a time for us to be vigilant. This is the time for us to stay awake. This is the time for us to stay awake and hand over our destiny. And handle our destiny. Because the way you handle your destiny, the way you handle your life in the beginning of this year, determine what this year will produce for you. He said when men slept, an enemy came to sow a seed among the wheat. What the wheat talks about good things. The wheat talks about good health. The wheat talks about prosperity. The wheat talks about the good things God have already prepared for you. The Bible said in the book of Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 11, he said, for my thoughts towards you is not to destroy you, it's not to condemn you, is to do you good and to give you an expected end. And to give you an expected end. What is that thought? Talks about the wheat. It said when men slept, an enemy came to sow a seed among the wheat, which means the seed that the enemy sowed, it was a wrong seed, and the wheat that was already there is the will of God. The wheat talks about the will of God, and the seed talks about the seed of the enemy. That is why we need to handle the beginning of this year with diligence. We need to handle it in the place of prayer.